Have emergency management managers talk to you about the wireless emergency alert that we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to start with Emergency Management Director Chris Voss, followed by Richard Higgins, who is the Wireless Emergency Alert Program Manager or Director, and Alicia Mendez, who is our Spanish language communications coordinator, and she'll be able to do a short message in Spanish if you would care for that. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Chris Voss.
Sure. First off, thank you for being here this morning. We're excited to do a test of the WIA system tomorrow. We're going to do this between 2 and 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. And we really wanted to make sure that there's three key areas that why we want this information out there and what we want people to know. First, this is a test. Please don't call 911 tomorrow or really any other government lines. You'll also see that when we send this message out, there's actually going to be a survey link. And if you get this message, we would love to hear back from you. So there's a few short questions. Please use that link and ask some of those questions. And then the third thing is that if people don't get the message, if you're in a room and everybody's phone goes off but yours, if you go to our website, you can sort of see where your settings to make sure your settings are right. But if you were supposed to receive the alert on your phone and you didn't get it, please send us an email, and that's the emergency.management@multco.us inbox, and we're going to probably try to converse with you about two things: your carrier and where you are. And we very much feel like this system can be very effective, but we want to make sure that it hits everybody in the county. And 90% is not success for us. We want to make sure that it hits every phone in the county that it's supposed to hit. And these tests are really, really important for us. The worst time to do a test is after an event, and so we're excited that we have this opportunity to do this today. We're happy to also answer some questions, and Richard in my office has been the lead of this and has been sort of coordinating this for sort of weeks, and happy to sort of take any questions, and I want to sort of Richard sort of opportunity to answer, and I'm also here to answer questions as well. Sure. Do we want any questions?
Why now? Why do this test now?
We have seen the events in Texas around the flooding, as well as previously with the LA fires, and before that in Hawaii and other places as well, where wireless emergency alerts did not reach everyone that they were meant to reach. Warnings were not received, and so we have this system that we want to test and make sure that before an emergency like that happens, it works for us. We know how to use the system. And we know who it's going to reach.
Anticipate any complications?
Sure, there are always complications. We are limited by the range of cell phone towers, and so we do anticipate some overspray into neighboring jurisdictions, and this is because of the location of the cell phone towers. So people who are in neighboring counties may also receive, if they're along the edge of our county, may also receive this message on their phones. We also know that there's areas in the county that cell phone coverage is weak, so there will be parts of the county that may not receive this. And so we're hoping to identify all of that through this test.
How many total phones do you think you guys are going to reach?
Well, based on the county's population and an anticipated number of folks that will be traversing through the county, we're expecting anywhere from 800,000 to 1 million phones or devices.
Can you just give our viewers an idea of what that message may be briefly?
Sure. It'll be a very brief message. It'll say that it's an alert, a test alert from Multnomah County. Where did my phone go?
There you go.
Sure. It'll say test. Multnomah County is testing the wireless emergency alert system. This message confirms that your phone can receive emergency alerts. In an actual emergency, this system will be used to share potentially life-saving information. No action is required. And then we provide a link to a survey that we hope folks who receive the test will go to and answer. And then we say end of test. And this message will go out both in English and in Spanish. So if your phone is set to receive communications in Spanish, you'll receive it in Spanish. Otherwise, it'll be in English.
Aside from watching this, where can viewers find more information on these emergency alerts?
Sure. We have created a very comprehensive frequently asked questions page on our website. And so if viewers want to go to multco.us/em, it's right there on our landing page. And there's information about this test, more information about the wireless emergency alert systems in general, including where you can find these settings on your phones if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, as well as why we're conducting these tests.
Will these also be going out to tablets or just phones?
This will go to any device that has that is connected to a cellular network. So tablets, even laptops if they're connected to a cellular network, phones, etc.
And can you clarify, if somebody has not either opted out, they will likely get this test. Is there another reason that somebody might not receive this alert?
So in addition to being in an, well, there's a few reasons that somebody may not receive an alert. The first one would be they've opted out of that setting in their phone. The second one would be the carrier that they're using, whether it be Verizon or T-Mobile or US Cellular or AT&T, has opted not to send that message. So the wireless carriers are not obligated to send these messages other than the national presidential alerts. So if that could be one reason that they haven't received this on their device. And third, if their phone is turned off, if it's not connected to a wireless network, then they won't receive the message.
How long does it take for us to get to this point today?
I'm sorry.
How long did it take to get to this point today? Like, how long have you guys been working on this?
So we've been preparing for this specific test for several months now. We've been working with the FEMA Integrated Preparedness Alert and Warning group since January, actually, to prepare for a workshop. And then the last 2 months we've been working on preparing for this specific test. Sure.
Can we hear an example of what it's going to sound like?
Yeah.
Sure.
I will play this.
And that actually came from a YouTube video, so I think if you haven't already received the link to that, we can share the link so that you can get a better quality version of the audio.
So there'll be no words after that sound, it'll just be that sound and then whatever you read?
Correct. This is different from an emergency alert system notification that you would get on the radio or television, where you have a verbal message. This is just going to be a text notification that shows up on your screen. Where's my phone? My phone was sitting right here.
Or did I actually maybe steal one of your phones? So we have a lot of phones here. Hold on one second. It's one of these. There.
So it'll look like this.
And we're happy to let you guys sort of zoom in on this one. We'll put it down for you.
Can you tilt it forward just
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Can you just touch it because it just went dark?
Oops.
I just have one follow-up for Chris Voss. This is an opportunity for families to think about their own preparedness. What's your call to action maybe for folks beyond the survey?
Yeah, the survey is important if you get that message. I think the other key piece is, like I said, if you don't get the message. We want people to take action. At the end of the day, like I said, check your settings that you're supposed to get it, but if you did not get it, we're very worried. The concern is we want to make sure that it hits the whole county. So if there's an area of the county that might be served by maybe a tower that's in another jurisdiction, we might find a little bit of a gap. And that's something that we can sort of manipulate later when we send messages, but we need to know that. We need to know that maybe there's a gap along the border or maybe in a more rural part of the county. So please send us a message if you did not get this alert and your phone was set to get the alert and it was on.
Why is it important to make sure that they're getting these messages? Just
Yeah, this is a test, but the reality is it could be a wildfire one day where maybe we've got something like Eagle Creek that's sort of swiftly moving through the gorge again. These are areas where sometimes towers are a little spread out, but we sometimes don't have days to sort of warn folks. Sometimes it's minutes, sometimes it's hours. And so this is one of the many systems we have, but it's really a critical one to be able to get the message out there to folks. And knowing that a lot of people are mobile, I think it might be one of those systems that we rely on even more and more in the future.
Probably a long list, but what kind of events would lead to this alert being sent out?
So, certainly wildfire, flood, it could be a myriad. I mean, if you look at sort of the hazards that we have, I think those are two sometimes the quicker happenings. There's some that we don't initiate, but are also important because outside other organizations might initiate. Things like a tornado warning. Those are initiated by the National Weather Service, but it uses the same system. So we're not the only sender, but we're the organization that right now wants to test to make sure that any of these hazards that are out there, you're going to get the alert that if you need to go or you need to maybe stay, you're getting that information in a timely manner. Any other questions?
Great.
I was going to ask you about the backup to it, because the cell towers, I remember during Katrina, they just stopped working. Nobody could get any signals out.
Yes.
Is there backup generators? Are there,
Yeah.
how are you going to ensure that network is actually there?
So first I want to say this is a critical system for us. It's not the only system. We didn't have this system, 15 and 20 years ago. People relied on the EAS systems. You think of your radio, your TV. But there are towers, they typically have UPS backup power. But that power is also limited. It's great if there's a short event. Where we found in areas like Katrina, sometimes those towers became inundated and so there was an issue with the electric, or it was days later and that UPS battery system no longer had power. But for a quick alert like a fire or sometimes a flash flood, those towers typically still have power and we're able to get out unless they are significantly damaged. There is also some overlap in the system, so one tower going down doesn't typically have a catastrophic impact. But I also want to say, like I said, this is one of many, but it's also an important one, and we want to make sure that every one of those tools in the toolbox works. Okay.
Great. If nobody has any questions, I am going to offer Alicia Mendez to give a message in Spanish for your Spanish language viewers.
Okay. Like Julie said, my name is Alicia Mendez, Public Information Officer for Multnomah County, and I'll be sharing my message in Spanish. El jueves 14 de agosto se enviará un mensaje de prueba de alerta a los teléfonos móviles en el condado de Multnomah a las 2 de la tarde como parte de nuestra prueba de alerta de emergencias inalámbricas. Este mensaje estará acompañado con un tono y 2 vibraciones en su celular. El mensaje de prueba dirá prueba y será enviada en inglés y también en español. Este mensaje será enviada a 1 millón de residentes y visitantes del condado de Multnomah. No se requiere, queremos expresar que no se requiere ningún tipo de acción cuando reciba este mensaje. Por favor, no llame a 911, 311 o 211, es solo una prueba.
Thanks, everyone. We want to really thank you, and keep your phones on, check your settings, and report back on whether you get this really important alert about our system. Thank you.